Welcome to Venezuela Insider, the only place in Venezuela for expats, digital nomads, entrepreneurs, investors, travelers, and related internationals. For more information, venezuelainsider.com. Today we're reviewing the things that I don't like about Caracas, and of course, you already know that Caracas is the capital of Venezuela, it's the main city, it's the most important city, it's the most populated city by a mile. And Caracas has a lot of good things going on, but however, Caracas also has a few things that I particularly don't like. This is a personal take, just that. However, we're gonna review the things that I don't like Caracas and actually the reason why I don't live there. Number one is overpopulation. Caracas is a very overpopulated city. Although the population of the city has declined thanks to the migration that Venezuela experimented on the past few years, of course during the last decade's recession, as if you want to call it a recession, so it's an understatement. However, Caracas, of course, is a very densely populated city on the world, and of course you're gonna be bumping with people in the metro area and on the public transportation, on when you're on a square, on the streets and such. There's always a bunch of people, and I like, Caracas is a fast-paced city due to the nature that is, has a lot of population, just banging into each other and such. So it's a fact that I don't particularly enjoy about Caracas. Number two is cost of living. Caracas, of course, is the biggest city in Venezuela and also the most expensive city in Venezuela. And depending of the area that you want to spend some time or even live there, and of course, it's going to be expensive if you go to the nicer areas, and those are the areas that actually I would want to live if I decided to live in Caracas. And when I go to Caracas, I usually stay on the east side, and the east side is very expensive for Venezuelan standards. Usually, Caracas has a cost of living that is around 50% higher than the rest of the other important cities within Venezuela. So if you want to move to Caracas, you're most likely moving to the east side, and the east side is very expensive compared to, of course, the rest of the country. And if you want to live in Caracas and have a pretty decent standard of living, you're gonna pay a premium for that. Number three, that is a very convoluted city. And what I mean by that is it's a big city, and the distribution of the city on each and every district, it's a very hard place to navigate. Actually, I got lost over there. It's very confusing. Also, like I said, it's a fast place. It's a fast-paced place. And that's pretty much, it's uncomfortable really to navigate the city. It's very complicated, and well, many people, people who are born and raised in Caracas, well, I was born in Caracas, but I didn't grow up there, and that people that was born and raised over there, they're very accustomed to that. I'm not. Actually, when I go to Caracas, I have to go to, run some errands and such. I just wanted to get in and get out quickly. I don't have time. I don't really enjoy the experience when I'm running the errands and such. And I don't know, it's uncomfortable for me to just doing this bunch of things within Caracas. Number four is traffic. The traffic in Caracas is awful, is horrible, just like in most metro areas in any place in the world, like Mexico City or London or New York or you name it. And of course, it has a metro station, has a bunch of avenues, And pretty much if you know what you're doing, well, in this case, in this particular case, just driving on the traffic of Caracas, I don't know what I'm doing. So I try to avoid it. I usually take public transportation. I take, a taxi, a cab, a ride sharing service or something, or I just pay someone to drive. I don't like driving in Caracas. I pretty much don't enjoy the experience at all. I get lost all the time when I'm driving over there. So I haven't driven in Caracas since, maybe a decade or so. So I try not to do so, and I really hate the experience of driving in Caracas. It's awful, and you have all these cars and the bikes and such. So it's a driving in Caracas is probably one of the worst things that I have to do as a Venezuelan citizen. So I don't enjoy it. Number 5 is safety. Venezuela, of course, is not the safest country in the world, in Latin America, and Caracas actually is one of the least safe metro cities in Latin America and the world, actually. But the thing is, it's not as bad as you might think. However, if you don't know what you're doing, you might end up being on some complicated situations. Of course, I already talked about this. Probably is not as important. That's why I put safety on number 5 and not number 1. Because if you know what you're doing, in this particular case, if you stay on a nice area on the east side of Caracas, you're going to be pretty much just fine. But also, you have to be aware, you have to be street smart, and you have to be just, use your brain a little bit, know what you're doing, especially on nighttime. And if you do that, you're going to be pretty much fine. Just stay on a decent area on the east side. Be aware, especially on nighttime. Know how to move around. Pretty much no big deal. But of course, when you're in Caracas, you have to be extra aware of the things going on around you. And number 6 is the beach. Or in this particular case, the lack of beach. And of course, Caracas, since it's very well located on the country, it is relatively close to the sea, to some beaches. Of course, you have the beaches on La Guaira, and on the east side, you have many bunch of places like Higuerote and many other places on the Miranda state. And you can drive a little bit more, and on Aragua, you can go to Aragua and find a lot of beaches and such. However, the city itself doesn't have any beach, doesn't have any ocean. And so if you are within Caracas, you are a landlocked, it's a landlocked city, I have to say, strictly, if I want to be a stickler. And that's pretty much, I like to live by the sea. I like to wake up every day and know that I just have to walk just a couple of blocks and I found myself on the beach, the ocean, and Caracas doesn't have such amenity. So one of the reasons, and that's pretty much one of the reasons that I don't live in Caracas. Thank you for watching Venezuela Insider. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on social media. If you want to work with us, VenezuelaInsider.com. Thanks again and have a nice day.